A boyfriend didn't want to watch his girlfriend's pet sent a bomb threat to the cruise that she was on. A man is accused of sex with a corpse on a subway train. And eggs are so expensive that some Americans are decorating potatoes this Easter. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a guy inside a closet. Got 3 weird news stories for you, per usual. Let's go. A boyfriend didn't want to watch his girlfriend's pet, so he sent a bomb threat to the cruise that she was on. A 19-year-old boyfriend was upset at his girlfriend for going on a cruise vacation, and he's being sent to prison for making a bomb threat to the ship. Well, I mean, going to prison is another way to not have to take care of your girlfriend's pet. Problem solved, I guess. The concern with that is this guy may end up being some inmate's pet himself, so something to consider before you make that move. This idiot's name is Joshua Lowe from Michigan. He admitted that he was annoyed that he had to look after pets while his girlfriend and her family went on a Caribbean cruise. This led Joshua to taking a drastic measure. He sent an email to Carnival Corporation Cruise Lines. In the email it said, quote, "Hey, I think someone might have a bomb on your Sunrise cruise ship." What followed was a complete disaster as far as the cruise ship is concerned. They did a search of over 1,000 rooms on the ship after it departed Miami. The Sunrise liner was heading for Jamaica and had to be diverted to the port after authorities were alerted of this email bomb threat. FBI agents traced the email address to Lowe, who was living with his girlfriend's family. Lowe admitted that he sent the message because he was very upset that the family went on the cruise, leaving him behind to take care of their pets. What kind of pets? Don't tell me this was a goldfish situation, although he is that dumb, right? A statement from the cruise says anyone making bomb threats should expect to be taken at their word. Fortunately, this particular threat did not result in any physical injuries whatsoever. Mr. Lowe has been sentenced to 8 months in prison for making a false bomb threat. The offense carries a maximum penalty of up to 5 years. A special agent in the FBI added, "Bomb threats are not a laughing matter ever and are extremely irresponsible. When individuals make false hoax threats, they divert critical law enforcement resources and spread unnecessary fear. The FBI takes all threats to life seriously and will ensure that those who resort to this kind of intimidation face the appropriate consequences." That's the end of the article, and no word on what these pets were. I mean, was it a house full of cats? Cats are pretty easy to take care of. You could just leave some food out and walk away. Even some dogs, you're not supposed to, but maybe, if he had to take care of like 3 dogs, he could have just put a bunch of food out and filled the bathtub with water, just went on his own little road trip. I mean, it's not very smart, but it's still not as dumb as making a bomb threat at the end of the day. There's some comments on social media about this article. Ladies saying such things as, "This is why we choose the bear." Well, ladies, maybe you're not aware of this, but a bear is actually a walking, ticking time bomb itself. Always. A man is accused of having intercourse with a corpse on a New York City subway train. Well, this story is not for the faint of heart. I have a feeling it's going to be quite morbid because it involves sex with a corpse. Today's another day I wish I didn't know how to read. Let's get into this, though. Should we? Should we dive in? I think we're gonna wish that we didn't, but let's try it. A man in New York is accused of a heinous crime in the subway. According to the police, the suspect is wanted for having sex with the corpse of a man on a southbound R train in the vicinity of Whitehall Street subway station in Lower Manhattan. He is wanted for sexual misconduct. Investigators said he is not believed to have known the victim. The deceased appears to have died of natural causes at some point before the crime occurred. You guys are probably wondering, why is there a corpse on a New York City subway? Well, I mean, right now the economy is very tough. So you got to keep working even after you're dead, obviously. It's tough times right now. Another thing you're probably wondering is, why would there be a corpse on a New York subway and no one would know about it for long enough for someone to have intercourse with it? Well, it's New York City. It's a subway, and it's kind of a free-for-all on there, and you sort of keep to yourself for the most part. I know, I lived there for over 10 years, and even if you saw something, you you just sort of stayed away, Don't get involved, right? Because then you end up a corpse as well. So I just chalk it up to someone. They're probably sleeping, but they're bleeding out. Yeah, I'm going to say they're sleeping. I'm not going to get involved in that. All right, let's get some more details. Do we want more details? Details? I think I hit puberty right there, finally. It says when the cops were investigating the case, they reviewed the subway car surveillance footage. It showed a man believed to be in his 50s have some intercourse. I'm not going to say exactly what the sort of intercourse was with the corpse. You don't need to hear it. But let's just say he's wanted now for sexual misconduct of a dead person. The suspect has not been caught. They have a description of the individual. Got a goatee. There's a goatee involved. Oh, man, you got to run from 50-year-old men with goatees these days. No, I mean, I'm serious about this. Can you remember that when an older dude with a goatee actually did something positive? No, you can't. The article says there are no apparent signs of trauma. And you mean, well, the person's already dead, so what do you mean signs of trauma? The trauma already took place in that the individual stopped breathing. I think at that point you can't really suffer too much trauma because you're dead and not aware. The trauma is taking place somewhere else in some other universe. Maybe this individual found out they're not getting into heaven as well. So that's some post-death trauma. But even then, how would we know? It also says it was not clear how the man on the train died or how long the corpse was riding the rails before the body was discovered. No drugs or drug... Say it with me, guys. No drugs or drug paraphernalia was found in the train, surprisingly. I'll bet you'll find some on the individual who made sweet love to a corpse, though. Assuming that you wouldn't do the wild thing with a dead body unless you were really messed up. Maybe there's sober people that do this. Was Jeffrey Dahmer into this? I think he was probably doing it on the natch, which is scary. Imagine all that stuff that he did and women still found him sexy. Meanwhile, I can't get a date over here. It's a strange world that I can't figure out. I've been trying. Reason doesn't seem to get you far, sadly. Now, I guess if you have information regarding this, there's a phone number here. You can call the NYPD's Crime Stopper hotline, 1-800-577-TIPS. The public can also submit their tips by logging onto the Crime Stopper's website as well. They got a website if you got some tips. They have no name for the deceased in the story at all. It's another homeless person just being ruined on the subway. Remember they lit that homeless person on fire a few months ago on the subway? So, subway's a rough place. I don't recommend riding it without some pepper spray or a bodyguard. I think the only place that's more dangerous than the New York City subway is Florida.
There's a good chance you're dealing with a middleman, like me, when you get your medicines. That's because PBMs and insurers are often the same company. We even own big chain pharmacies and are buying your doctor's office. We decide what medicines you can get, where you get them, and how much you pay. It's a win-win. For me.
When middlemen own it all, you lose. Visit phrma.org/middlemen to learn more. Paid for by Pharma.
Eggs are so expensive in the U.S. that some Americans are going to be decorating potatoes this Easter. Decorating potatoes for Easter, just as Jesus would have wanted. The story starts out kind of fun. It says, hippity-hoppity, Easter's on its way. Hippity-hoppity, Easter's on its way. But sadly, people in the U.S. may have to think outside the basket this year because eggs is expensive. Still, kind of still. At least I'm seeing more of them at a reasonable price. But I'm sure in certain parts of the country is still having an egg shortage, and it's raising the prices. And now Easter's going to be a little different. The article says, eggs tend to be a staple for Easter celebrations, as you know, whether they're being decorated with bright paint, rolled across the lawn of the White House, deviled and displayed on a big platter, or baked into quiches, served with brunch. But with U.S. egg prices still stubbornly high amid an outbreak of bird flu in laying hens that led to a severe egg shortage, many Americans are now looking for alternatives to some of their favorite traditions, Luckily, influencers have stepped up to the challenge. Thanks, influencers. Oh, thank God we have influencers, guys, stepping up to the challenge and helping us get through life. Oh, tell me how to live my life, influencers. Influencers say when it comes to decorating eggs, you can dye other things, like marshmallows or potatoes. Oh, yum, fun, Easter potatoes. Great Depression Easter, anyone? Hey, if you're really struggling, just use imaginary eggs. Your children will never find them. Now, in this article, we have some solutions, alternatives, other than potatoes. We have an influencer on TikTok named The Spruce, offering 5 alternatives to decorating real eggs, including painting pasta shells, painting potatoes, marshmallows, even painting clay. Clay? Where you get that idea? I think potatoes are the way to go. They're stiff. They're sort of round. They seem very paintable. I'm sure that's fine until our brilliant leader makes potatoes expensive AF, and then we'll all be painting Easter rocks this year. Looking forward to that. Why not just go fully Soviet America at this point, guys? Let's have a Russian Easter. What's the matter? No eggs? No problem, comrade. Just paint used skateboard wheels. Or maybe spark plugs from car. Over here we say just add vodka. Vodka and your imagination. That's all you need to enjoy any holiday. Okay, some other influencers have other solutions, including egg-shaped brownies. That actually sounds amazing. They actually suggest painting rocks as well. Here's someone named Rose, who probably makes a lot more money than me posting stupid videos on TikTok. Rose says, small potatoes or baby potatoes have sort of an egg shape, and they're a lot of fun to look at. So, like, let's color potatoes for Easter. Thanks, Rose. How would I get through life without you and your influencing account? There's a food blogger here. Got to give it up to food bloggers, too. Food blogger says, eggs are way too expensive right now. I actually enjoyed dyeing marshmallows. I actually had more fun dyeing marshmallows than I did the eggs last year. Cool. I don't know how you can buy colored marshmallows too, right? I don't know. I don't think marshmallows are the same, although they are delicious. Can't you just get the good chocolate eggs and let's just call it a day? That's going to be difficult with the tariffs because I think the good chocolate's made in Europe. Cadbury, you guys know Cadbury? That's like the big Easter chocolate egg company. Well, sadly, they're in the UK, so your Cadbury eggs are going to be more pricey. And those little plastic hollow ones, those are made in China, so I guess we're going to have to say no to that as well. That's a lot of fun being an American right now, ain't it? May I suggest Tito's vodka and a nap this Easter? How about that? I'm sure you can find a hammock that's made domestically. None of this is going to stop Americans from painting egg-like objects this Easter. Craft retailer Michael's, you know the joint. Their craft egg kits are still flying off the shelves, with sales of 2 of the kits up 20% compared to the same time last year. And Paz, a supplier of egg dyeing kits, shared an Instagram video earlier this month demonstrating how to dye marshmallows that give major spring vibes. No eggs required. Well, it sounds like some people are still pushing for normalcy during this Easter. That's nice to know. I'm going to be knee-deep in Bloody Marys, just basking in my alcoholic delirium, celebrating the fact that I don't have to provide eggs for some little children this holiday, or any holiday. It's great not having kids. You should try it.
Tax day's always a pain. Next year could be a nightmare. If Congress fails to extend Trump's tax cuts, middle-class families will get hit with a huge tax increase. That means less money for groceries, less money to pay your mortgage, less money for school supplies, and less money for family vacations. A $1,500 tax increase? That's enough to give families the cold sweats. Avoid the nightmare. Save Trump's tax cuts. Learn more at protectprosperity.com. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Eggs? We don't need no stinking eggs. We got pebbles. We have dried goose poop that we will paint for Easter. Hi, everybody. How are you? This is your host, Jonesy. I want to thank you for spending some time with the Weird AF News podcast. It's a rather short episode, but I think we got some good stories in there. Appropriate. Keeping it brief. If I want to give thanks and praise. Oh, let me give thanks and praise. I have a new patron, a new member of the Patreon named Bree Hafford. Bree Hafford, amazing. Named after some cheese, one of my favorite types of cheese. So give it up to Bree. Bree's probably delicious. Very supportive individual, obviously. Supporting Weird AF News. This one guy in a closet doing news five days a week. I don't have a team helping me out. I'm not CNN. I'm not NPR. Just sweating it out here in the closet, just trying to get some laughs and get into heaven. Maybe teach you guys a few things. And don't ride the subway. This is helpful stuff. Anyways, Bree's a member of the Patreon now, which is a good thing to do with your money and your time, because there's a lot of extra content in the Patreon. Bree, check it out. I just put something in there a few hours ago. I'm always putting stuff in the Patreon. Extra content from my patrons. They're amazing people. It's like joining a club. If you want to join the Patreon like Bree, go to weirdafnews.com and click on the Patreon banner. Or just skip all that. Go to patreon.com/weirdafnews. Or click on the link that's in the description of my podcast. You can do it like that. You can do it like this, do it like that. You can do it with a wiffle ball bat. So, you know the deal. Support the show. If you don't have any money and you want to support Weird AF News, just tell your coworker or your cellmate. That's always a good thing. Or your Lyft driver, something like that. Or the people that you play pickleball with. Tell them about Weird AF News and how much joy it brings to your life. That's really helpful. Doesn't cost you anything but your breath. All right. Be cool, kids. And good luck with your life, man.